to the Ignition News, your unfiltered, uncensored source for the actual truth in what is happening in the United States of America and around the world. We are not bought by the billionaires. We are here to be your source of truth in a time where truth matters more than it ever has. Be sure to follow along with your favorite platform on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Substack. Let's get busy with the truth. Welcome to the Ignition News. Let's do it. All right, here we go in 3, 2, and 1. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ignition News. It is February 23rd, 2026. And I've got to tell you, I want to do some reflection on what we have built on the Ignition News and Rebel Radio. It was, after all, 1 year ago, almost to the date, when we founded Rebel Radio, which was a different name at the time. It was the president's State of the Union address. We were preparing for what was, at that time, of course, still very shocking times. It still is very shocking times. But I remember at that time, it felt much darker than it feels today. Because across the country, as this tyrannical president and his Christian nationalist fascists began to take over the government, along with people like Elon Musk and this terrible regime, we were left out by ourselves. There was no institutional resistance. And as the courts began to fail, as the CEOs across this country began to fail, as our local government elected leaders failed to stand up in the moment, we were left holding the bag of democracy by ourselves. And it was a very dark and lonely time. And I remember it was the middle of the day. I was sitting in a parking lot in front of a P.F. Chang's. I was talking about the State of the Union. There's probably 50 people. And my live got shut down because of, I think, I'm not even going to say it because it's probably shut down again. And that caused us to do something, which was to start Rebel Radio. So we started Rebel Radio and then the Ignition News, and we built this massive community, thousands and thousands of people. And we started a goal that day to build 1,000 leaders in 1,000 different communities. And each and every day along the way, for the last 364 days, we've added one more person to the resistance. In one more town, we found one more person and we showed them the light. We found one more place, one more space to hold our foot down. We built an enormous guide to fighting fascism called Ignite, Fighting Fascism in the Age of Its Rise. And all of us have taken part in this time, in this moment, to push back. All of us have planted our feet on the ground like weeds. We have been refusing to move, and we've built we've built something substantive. We've taught people how to resist in their own communities, and what they've taken in that in dozens of ways is they've taken their own form of resistance, not as a negative thing, but as a factually positive improvement in their communities. And so nothing can be said of what we have done other than that we are true Americans working to better our communities, working to build something, and we have indeed built something here on Rebel Radio, the Ignition News. But most importantly, we built a community in a time of darkness when so many people chose moral cowardice. We built something. We built something in the darkest of times. And here we are. We are bigger, we are stronger, and we've given back to our communities in a very big way. So if you're new to the show, welcome. We stream on Spotify, Twitch, Substack, YouTube, sometimes Facebook, sometimes Instagram, and also TikTok. But it all started, of course, on TikTok on that fateful day, the State of the Union 2025. And much can be said about the state of the United States right now, but what I can say about the state of our community is that we're stronger, we are more active in our community, and we have done hundreds, if not thousands, probably multiples of thousands of acts of good in our communities. We've taken this time and this place to hold our feet down and to make the world a better place, when so many weak men are doing so much in the opposite direction. So before we officially hit the 1-year anniversary of Rebel Radio, I just wanted to recognize that fact. But it is also not lost on me one other thing. As we built Ignite, Fighting Fascism in the Age of Its Rise, our field guide to fighting fascism, we obviously drew a lot of inspiration, and I talk about them all the time, but the White Rose, the students in Munich who gave up their lives standing up to Hitler and the Nazis by handing out information. They resisted with information, which at the core is what we do every single day. I just realized I forgot to plug in my microphone to the show. Damn it. Give me 1 second. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Let me see if I can fix this. Probably not. That is wild. We're going to have to do a lot of saving on the back end. Going to have to do a lot of saving on the back end for that audio. Oh, well, I'll figure it out later. We move ahead. We move ahead. I'll salvage this audio from somewhere. And it stopped recording. That's fine. Wild. Anyways, let's keep going. I'll figure this out. I'll pull the audio from somewhere. I'll get it going. Don't worry about that. It is not lost on me the fact that, by the way, our resistance reflects on the white rose. And what I was thinking of today, let us go back and look. State of the Union 2025. What day? What's it? It was March 4th. So technically, we're a little bit ahead of schedule here. But it is not lost on me as we approach this season of our lives that it is in this season, this time in late February 22nd to be specific, when Sophie Scholl, her brother, and other members of the White Rose were executed for their resistance. We can both reflect on that and learn from that moment a very powerful lesson. If we do not take our stand now, if we do not resist now, eventually and one day it will be too late. We will be standing in front of a judge, fully captured by this fascist government, who will convict us in a sham trial. And then what happens to us next is between our resistance, our actions, and the judgment of whatever creator we believe in. But we can stop this now, and we will stop this now. So welcome to the Ignition News. It is February 23rd, 2026. Let's talk about some things that happened today. On 1836, the siege of the Alamo began. How interesting. In 1903, the U.S. leases Guantanamo Bay for the first time. A lot of resistance stuff happened today. The Gutenberg Bible, interesting. We just talked about religion. Traditionally cited as the Johannes Gutenberg, as the day Johannes Gutenberg began printing the first book using movable type. And we shared today with W.E.B. Du Bois. Emily Blunt was born today. Big Emily Blunt fan. And what else? It's National Banana Bread Day, everyone. Happy National Banana Bread Day. It is International Dog Biscuit Appreciation Day, Kodak. Yes, I hear you. And it's World Understanding and Peace Day. That's kind of cool. Pretty understanding. I saw that Larry Ellison and the tech titans were defending their new AI monitoring systems. They're saying, we're not just providing personalized reality enhancement. It's this joke is not going the way I wanted to. I'm stopping the joke. Okay, I was trying to bring up the mood. It's not working. I'm so can't do my jokes today. I'm gonna have to edit that joke out because it was so bad. I'll try another joke. I was looking at the latest inflation numbers. They say the average family is paying $1,300 more a year because of the tariffs. But hey, look on the bright side. It's National Banana Bread Day. It's the only day where going bananas is a culinary choice and not a financial strategy. I'm trying. Anyways, let's get into the news. I have lots of stuff to talk about today on National Banana Bread Day. There's a lot to talk about. First, let's go back to 1980. 1980, the U.S. men's hockey team defeats Russia in a time and a place where the American people needed to know that it could resist Russia, that it could fight back against the Soviets in the Cold War. And obviously, we can, talk about that in a more nuanced topic later. But on this day, or not this day, but in 1980, the U.S. men's hockey team became the Miracle on Ice. Yes, the Miracle on Ice. Well, in 2026, the U.S. men's hockey team did, in fact, also win the gold, but they will not be remembered for anything because mere moments after their victory, they went to the back with Kash Patel. They played some ridiculous song by Toby Keith, and the president called them to congratulate them on their victory, but not before denigrating the women's hockey team and trash-talking Canada, one of our allies. Pretty shameful behavior. This happened obviously in Milan. Kash Patel, the man Trump installed to run the most powerful domestic law enforcement agency in the United States, flew to Italy on an FBI Gulfstream jet. That cost you an estimated $75,000. He attended the men's semifinal. He attended the gold medal game, and then when Team USA beat Team Canada, a genuinely thrilling moment for the country. By the way, the first time in 46 years, Kash Patel was right there chugging a beer in the locker room. His video went viral of him chugging a beer and spraying around across the room while a player drapes a gold medal around his neck. Now, obviously on one level, this is just embarrassing. On another level, it's really infuriating because while Kash Patel was partying back in Italy, back home, the FBI was dealing with the fatal shooting of an armed intruder at Mar-a-Lago. American citizens in Mexico were stranded at the during this massive violence that's happening in Puerto Vallarta, and Savannah Guthrie's mother is still missing. The boss of the FBI is getting drunk in a hockey room, denigrating women while all these things are happening. 8 former FBI and Justice Department officials reached out to reporters to describe the locker room footage as it was rocking around the world as disgusting. One former Garland spokesperson put it plainly: there was a threat at the president's residence. Americans in Mexico are facing major cartel threats. Nancy Guthrie is still missing, and the FBI director thinks he's a frat bro. But here's what makes it more embarrassing. This is a pattern, right? It's a pattern from Kash Patel, who ditched his typical FBI vehicles to get custom Mercedes, who's flying around on a personal jet, who has the FBI literally driving his girlfriend around. Meanwhile, we know nothing more about the Epstein files. There's no apparent major investigation or accountability. The director of the FBI is supposed to serve a 10-year term. He's supposed to be professional. This is a serious judgment error. This is a serious error in judgment. And, Kodak. Wild show, everyone. And this is what it looks like when there's no accountability. The next story, welcome to the Ignition News, is actually pretty wild. A key witness to a Texas ICE shooting of Ruben Ray has died in a car accident. This story is wild. Now, this should be on the front page of every newspaper in the country, and it might be, but I want to make sure you understand the full weight of what happened because the timeline matters. Good luck, TikTok. Good luck staying on this one. Okay. On March 15, 2025, almost a year ago, a 23-year-old man named Ruben Ray Martinez was shot and killed by federal immigration agents in South Padre Island, Texas. He was just days past his birthday. He had driven down from San Antonio with his best friend to celebrate at the beach. He worked at an Amazon warehouse. He liked video games. His mother said he had never had a single run enforcement with the law. It was the first time getting to go out of town, she said. He was a nice guy, a humble guy. He wasn't a violent person at all. DHS agents from HSI were helping local police direct traffic at the scene of a crash when Ruben drove through. Now, the government said he intentionally ran over a federal agent and the agent fired. Oh, we've seen this story before, by the way, haven't we? Federal agents saying that the vehicles were used as weapons. Where have we heard this story before? Where have we heard this story before? By the way, DHS did not issue a press release about this murder, about killing this person. They did not notify the public that they murdered this person. So you probably haven't heard this story, yes? So for 11 months, they said nothing. And we only found out about it from a FOIA, a Freedom of Information Act request. We did not know that ICE killed another American citizen. Here's where the story gets darker. Ruben's best friend was in the passenger seat that night. His name was Joshua Orta. He was 25 years old. And Joshua saw everything. What he said and saw directly contradicts DHS's report. In a written statement obtained by the New York Times, Orta said that Ruben was driving cautiously in traffic in his proper lane and did not strike anyone. He said federal agents fired multiple shots from just a few feet away without issuing any warnings. Oh, this sounds familiar. He said quote, officers delayed medical aid for at least 10 minutes after shooting Ruben. Okay, we've heard this one before as well, haven't we? Pulling him from the car unconscious, putting him face down on the pavement, then handcuffing him. They handcuffed a dying man without CPR, without treating him, and he died for 10 minutes. We've seen this before, have we not? Joshua Orta had been preparing to formally sign that statement and testify against DHS. And this weekend, Joshua Orton died in a highway car crash near San Antonio. Of course, I have to be very precise. At this time, we do not know what happened with Joshua Orta, and the official report is that this is a, quote, unrelated accident. At this time, there is no, quote, evidence of foul play. His family is obviously devastated. How much trauma can a family endure? The only eyewitness in this government attack, which mirrors what happened to Alex Preddy, which mirrors what happened to Renee Good, the only eyewitness is what happened now. It's clear. Or yes. Ruben Ray Martinez was going to the beach for his birthday. He's an American citizen. The only person that could tell his story now is dead. But this is not the only cover-up. Oh, I said it, didn't I? I said cover-up. I used the word cover-up. Let's move on to story number 3. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me take this time to just do a quick commercial break. Yay, commercials, shopping, food, items, TikTok shop. Go, yay. We love buying things from TikTok. Yay. Let's purchase items from the TikTok shop store. Let's do it. Yay. Yay. Welcome to the Ignition News, everyone. If that story is not disturbing enough for you, I want to tell you about another instance about sealing the truth. So, y'all remember Judge Eileen Cannon? Yes. On the same morning that we're getting ready to watch the president deliver a State of the Union address, a federal judge handed down what should be understood as the same situation: hiding and sealing information. U.S. District Court Judge Eileen Cannon, clown, absolute clown, of course, appointed by Donald Trump, who oversaw his documents case in Florida, has permanently sealed the records related to that case. And the permanent sealing came directly from the president. So let's back up quickly. Jack Smith was appointed as special counsel to investigate the documents case and Trump's overturning of the election. Both of those cases were dropped, obviously, when he became president. He ran for president to avoid going to jail, in case no one wants to talk about this, right? He ran for president to avoid going to jail. He put Cass Patel and Pam Bondi in the Department of Justice. The cases go away. So then you have all this evidence from the documents case in Florida, oversaw by Judge Cannon, Eileen Cannon. Absolute sham situation happening down there. And now she has sealed it. We know that the president had boxes of classified documents in his bathroom. And now the records from that case have been sealed at the direct request of the president. Here's what's been sealed. They're literally trying to make this disappear. The charges, the record, the facts, and all of the evidence have been sealed. The charges have been sealed. The ruling, by the way, does not just apply to Pam Bondi, but it also applies to future attorney generals. Pam Bondi's future successors are bound by this order. And even if a Democrat wins the White House, this is still sealed. I'm sorry, I'm having a real tough time speaking today. I'm having a difficult time processing like the words on the paper. It's not for anything, just there's a lot going on in my brain right now. So yeah, They're covering it up. They're covering up what happened to this kid. They're trying to pretend that this documents case didn't happen. And we're getting ready for the State of the Union. Tomorrow night, the president is going to stand at the podium. He's going to tell you that the economy is booming, that the border is sealed, that America has never been greater. Congressional Republicans are going to interrupt him 40 or 50 times with their vapid applause. The cabinet members are going to be there. They're going to cut to the members of the Supreme Court who are there. Some of them will not show up, by the way. He will say that consumer confidence just hit the highest level in more than a decade. He will not say that his approval rating sits at 37%, basically the lowest point ever. He will not say that 6 in 10 Americans believe the country is headed in the wrong directions. He will not say that just Friday, the Supreme Court struck down his sweeping global tariffs, his single biggest weapon. He will not say the same day the Department of Commerce showed economic growth slowed last year. He will not say that the wealth concentration in this country is at a 60-year high, arguably much higher. He will not mention that the budget that he and congressional Republicans passed gutted Medicaid and food stamps and gave massive tax cuts to corporations. He will not say that Americans are still paying significantly more for groceries and housing than they were a few years ago, and indeed more than when he was elected. He will not mention that prices have not come down, and he might mention the price of eggs. In fact, I almost guarantee you he's going to reference the price of eggs. And yes, it's true. You may be saving $200 on the price of eggs, but you are paying $1,300 more because of tariffs. He is not going to mention Renee Good. He is not going to mention Ruben Ray Martinez. He is not going to mention Joshua Orta. Of course, he is going to mention President Biden, probably President Obama, probably more than once. He will claim that everything he inherited is bad and now everything is good. He will threaten Iran. The State of the Union is supposed to be where we talk about the health of this country. This is a man engaged in an active war with democratic governance, being cheered on by a party of sycophants that has literally chosen submission. Grown adult men submitting to another grown adult man. They are submissive to him. They are submissive little men. And of course, we hear that Hakeem, now I'm in rant mode. Here we go. I've entered rant mode. And we have Hakeem Jeffries reportedly telling Democrats, don't do any of that Al Green shit. He apparently said literally that. Don't do that Al Green shit. Of course, we remember Al Green, the only Democrat to stand up to Trump in the last State of the Union. The Democrats should not even attend the State of the Union at all. It's not acceptable. Because the State of the Union, after all, is broken. It's fractured. This is not a president of the Union of the United States of America. This is not a president presiding over a unified country in any fundamental way. This is not a president that represents all Americans. This is a president that represents literally 37% of America. And he doesn't even care about them. That 37% of his loyal base, he is disgusted by them. And they don't even see it, although it is clear for everyone else to see. He is repulsed by those people. He is mortified. He finds them to be disgusting. But he knows that no matter what he does and what he says, that they will believe him. And in some instances, they will violently defend him. January 6th. Do you remember that? I talked about what happened at Mar-a-Lago. That person was purportedly a supporter of the president. Butler, Pennsylvania. That person was reportedly a supporter of the president. Minnesota. What happened in Minnesota with the 2 lawmakers? And of course, my lawyer would remind you on the Ignition News, we don't support or condone violence. Really got to make sure you say that, Dan. But the fact is, nobody wants violence in this country. This is not what any of us want, but we are being confronted with violence from armed men, masked armed men on the street, the president's private police force. We are confronted with the systemic violence of poverty, and it is getting worse and worse and worse and worse every day. We are confronted with the systemic violence of a police state, not just ICE, but a police state, which serves only the interests of the wealthy. There was a man who tried to attack a power station by the Hoover Dam. If he had been successful, power would have been interrupted for millions of people for weeks, if not months. That man had been missing from his home for days. He ran away from home and his family filed a police report because he was missing. And he drove from New York or New Jersey, all the way to Nevada. And his car was scanned hundreds of times by flock surveillance cameras. Hundreds of times. His license plate, his car, it was tagged. If any police officer had wanted to find him at any time, they could have gone to these flock cameras that they used to invade your security and safety, and they could have found him, and they could have stopped him or gotten him the mental health help that he clearly needed. He's dead now. It's all an illusion. Just like this president's State of the Union, just like the lies that he will tell us tomorrow. It's all an illusion. You are less safe, less financially stable. You are ripped further apart from the core of democracy and your neighbors. And we are closer to a war with Iran, which has no purpose to serve the United States of America, but seems quite well to benefit and serve Benjamin Netanyahu and the State of Israel. It is no coincidence that Benjamin Netanyahu was just in Washington, D.C., and now we're planning to go to war with Iran, purportedly. The same Benjamin Netanyahu and government of Israel that intercepted and interfered with planned peace talks with Iran from none other than Jared fucking Kushner. Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, working with Iran to negotiate peace. Benjamin Netanyahu comes to Washington, D.C., and then we bomb Iran. Benjamin Netanyahu has once again come to D.C., flying away from something like 40 countries because he has an international arrest warrant, because he is factually a war criminal. Lands in Washington, D.C., and lo and behold, we're about to get in another fucking war. Go and look at your streets. Go look at the condition of your roads. Tell me about the potholes. I was driving in Las Vegas down towards the Strip, and the roads are so decayed that it's like I was fucking off-roading in my little car, just on a street, a major street in the city of Las Vegas, in Chinatown. Obviously, the government doesn't care about those roads, one of the most economically important parts of our entire community. It was literally like off-roading. There was a crack in the street, and there was water coming up from the street. Our education system is failing us. You don't have good health care. Full fucking stop. Yet, in Israel, the infrastructure is excellent. The roads are good. They have health care. They have education. They are safer in their streets than you are. And we're spending all of this money to fund a genocide. And now purportedly to go to war with Iran? Iran, by the way, who is so weakened by a massive water drought that they're having to move their capital city out of Tehran because they have no water? The threat is not Iran. The threat is our government, which is being capitulated and controlled and is captured. Not one Democrat is going to speak out against the president tomorrow. Why? Because the same people that fund the Democratic Party funded this president in his run for president. The same AIPAC, which funds almost every congressional Republican, also funded to elect Donald Trump. And not one of them will speak out against this war with Iran. Why? Why? Whose country is this? Whose country is this? I thought I lived in the United States of America. The State of the Union tomorrow is supposed to be the State of the Union of the United States of America, 1776. The president is required to go report on the State of the Union to Congress. It is a constitutional responsibility. But our government is not serving our interests. Our Congress people are not interested in our health, safety, and well-being. We purport to have a constitution that protects our freedom of assembly and our freedom of speech. But if you dare to speak out against a foreign lobbying institution, you will be suppressed and silenced. And if you are a college student, you might get kicked out of college. And yes, that's one little piece of the puzzle. To be very clear, we have many problems in the country, and AIPAC is only one of those things. The influence that it has on our politicians, just to be very clear. Everything that man is going to tell you tomorrow is going to be a lie. But there is a way out of this lie. On the 1-year anniversary of the start of Rebel Radio, we have built a huge community. There's like 35,000 people. We've gone into our communities and we have grappled to own them with our bare hands. We have gone out and we have fed people. We have gone out and we have made people more secure. We've stood up to our government. We've pushed back. We've fought back. We are getting people elected. We are not purchased. We are not owned, but we are also not afraid. We've built something here, one brick at a time, one fact at a time, and one person at a time. One leader in one community, 1,000 leaders in 1,000 different communities. I told you then, and if I'm being super honest with you, I never doubted that we would make it happen. And here we are. It's February 23rd, 2026. I hope you feel less afraid than you did last time. State of the Union. A lot of people were scared. I remember very clearly. I'm man enough to admit that people in my own community were scared at that time and that they were more scared then because there were not enough of us standing up yet. You have to fucking admit that. And more of us are standing up every single day. We are building community. We are literally building streets, and we will take back our power. This is not just about a 30-minute show. This is about 30 years of progress, 30 years of victory, many more if possible. Probably that. That's probably what I got left in me. I'm being really honest with you. I'm in my 40s. I probably got 30 years left. Let's be honest. But it's not about me in those 30 years. It's about what comes after. And you know that. That's why you're here. What a great show, everyone. I want to say thank you. Thank you for helping us to build what we have built. Thank you for having the courage not to back down. Thank you for having the courage to come back another day. What a great show, everybody. It's February 23rd. We'll see you back on the next show. Jeez, huh? We got some comments over on YouTube. I just try to see those people on YouTube. What are they saying over there? No sound on YouTube for seconds there. Yeah, I know. All right, everybody. Good show. What else we got here? And I have to edit out. I have to edit out considerable portions of that show. Curiosity is courageous. That's right. Noble Sharon, big hype game from Noble Sharon today. Big hype game. I appreciate you. You were hyping up big time today. So thank you very much for that. I saw you. I was looking over every now and then. I saw that hype game. It matters a lot.